Hello everyone. Welcome to the Identity Server Community Call October session. Let me share my screen first. So before I start the today conversations, I like to share good news with you guys. I think sometimes you may read this thing. So Identity Server has recognized by Forrester as a strong performer in their latest customer identity and access management report. So they have selected the most prominent CIAM vendors, 13 CIAM vendors. So they are WSO2 Identity Server named as a strong performer. So to select these CIAM vendors, they went through four main considerations. The first thing, they checked whether these vendors provide any thought leadership uh, around the customer identity and access management. Uh, then they checked the annual CIAM revenue of that organization, whether it's go beyond the 4 million annual revenue. Then they did a research with the customers, inquiries about the CIMA vendors from the Forrester and got the customer feedbacks and so on. Then as the fourth point, they check whether uh, each of these vendors aware each other. So those are the four main criteria they evaluate to select the most prominent CIAM vendors. After they select those vendors, they went through a kind of demo and questionnaire, and they talked to their customers, and based on those information and based on those evaluation, they have rate each vendors here. So their identity server has named as a leader, a strong performer in this report. So here, this is this blog I have written. So here I have discussed about the Forrester report and how they pick vendors and what are the things they have discussed about identity server. And there's another blog from Prabhat. Here Prabhat discussed in detail about how this evaluation went and how was the demo, what we did there, and those kind of things. And then today in a later, we have another session which is Darshan is doing. So Darshan will discuss more about these things. So that is all about this forest report. So let's get into the usual proceedings. Today we are in the October community call session. As usual, if you come to our community call GitHub repo, you can find the call notes, the previous call notes, and then we have linked to Identity Server product page, and then we have linked to our Slack channel. So if this is the first time that you are joining our community call, this is the link to Identity Server Slack channel. So please join our Slack channel, and then if you have any concerns or questions about the Identity Server, discuss with our community. And even if you want to give any feedback to the product, this is the place where you can discuss those things. So let me go to the today agenda. Today we have two main sessions. One is being by Sumedha and Samini. There we are going to discuss about the HashiCorp Vault integration to the identity server. In the identity server, we have our own secure vault implementation where to keep the secrets and in our configuration file. So now we want to extend that capability and integrate with external secure vault implementations and then keep our secrets in those places. So to start with that, so we are going to integrate with the HashiCorp Vault. So this is still an ongoing project. So Sanduni is mainly working on that effort. So in their session, Sanduni and Sumed will discuss more about what we have done in terms of integrating identity server with HashiCorp Vault. Then Darshana will discuss more about uh, identity server positioning as a customer focused IAM solution, and the key features uh, we can utilize in the CIAM solution, and those things Darshan will discuss in his session. So before we start those sessions, I have picked two blogs. The first blog, this is from Darshan, so he will use this blog in his discussion. Then we have another two articles. This is written by Anuradha. So if you are new to identity provisioning and those things, so this is a good article to learn about the SCIM. SCIM is the latest standard for identity provisioning. So previously we had the SDML, which is a kind of XML-based protocol, but there were less industry adoption. Then SCIM came, which is based on the REST. SCIM 1.0 came. Now this is the latest version of SCIM, which is 2.0. So in this blog post, Anuradha discuss more about SCIM 2.0 core schema and more detail on that. And she has written few more blogs on SCIM and how to extend SCIM capabilities within the identity server. So better to go here and read about this if you are new to SCIM. Next, I have selected another blog article that is also written by another colleague in Identity Server. She's Pamoda. So in Identity Server, we have full SACML implementation. SACML is uh, used to give the fine grain authorization. So Identity Server, we have the full SACML support. So and then SACML also kind of highly extensible protocols which can be used to evaluate authorization policies. So in this article, Pamoda discuss about the uh, discuss how to introduce a new SACML function. So if you know about SACML, there are inbuilt functions to evaluate the SACML policies, but uh, to address advanced requirement, you may have to introduce a new capability or new function to evaluate these policies. In that case, I think Pamodas, this article will help you to write a new SACML function and integrate it to your blog. So if you go through this, integrate your solution. So in this, if you go through this article, Pamoda has provided sample source code here. So you can go to that repo and get that source code and then try to implement a custom SACML function. So those are the two things I want to highlight. But if you go to our, let me go back. So in this repo, we collect all the blocks our colleague write daily basis. So here 2020 blogs. Yes, in this page you can find all the latest blogs we have written if you want to read them. Yes, so that's all I want to discuss. Uh, let's go to the first session where Sumed and Sandhuni will discuss about the HashiCorp Vault integration. So I think Sumed will start the session. Sumed, over to you. Let me start sharing so you can start.
Okay, I hope you can see my screen. Yeah, I will demonstrate about how we can integrate HashiCorp Vault with the identity server. So HashiCorp Vault is a secret management tool which is created by HashiCorp. So we can use HashiCorp Vault in order to, we can store secrets, password, etc. in the HashiCorp Vault. And I will explain about there are cases like if someone use HashiCorp Vault as a centralized secret manager. So in that cases, they may need to integrate HashiCorp Vault secrets and use them in the identity server also. So in order to do that, we have created the extension to support HashiCorp Vault and integrate it with the identity server. So Sandhuni has written a blog about that, and you can find more information about integration tasks. So let's go to the demonstration. Okay. Okay. First, what you have to do is you can go to the WSO2 extensions organization and go to the Carbon Secure HashiCorp repository. And in there, you can find the extension source code in there, and with the complete guide of how to set up this extension and integrate HashiCorp Vault with the identity server. So I will follow the exact guide here. So yeah, let's start. And first, what we have to do is we have to start HashiCorp Vault server, and we have to create a new KV engine. So then in the KV engine, we have to set the engine name as WSO2 or you can add it any name as your preference. Okay, let's go here and demonstration purpose. Okay, and that's how we can start. And you can find that when starting, it shows what's the API address and other informations also. So let's go to the guide. And what we have to do is first we have to create a KV.
Yeah, Sumit, it seems that Zoom video is get freezed. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. I think now it seems okay.
So
previously, the video was freeze.
Okay, now is it fine?
Now we are in the Git repo. So
hello.
Yeah, you can start from there, I guess.
Okay, I will stop sharing and start again.
Yeah, maybe better.
Okay. I started again. Can you see my screen now? Yep, so,
yes,
okay.
we can see.
Let me know if it is not showing there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Okay. I hope you saw that I started the HashiCorp Vault server in the dev mode, and you can find that after starting, you can find the information about what is the API address and other information also. Okay, the next step is, the first step is we have to create a new KV engine, and we are renaming it as WSO2 IS. So you can use the user interface also to create that. For now, I will hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Sumedh, but we can't see your screen, it seems.
Okay, I'm sharing it again.
Okay, okay. Yeah, now we can see your screen.
Okay, sorry for the disturbance. Okay, I hope you can see the screen. Okay, so in order to create a new KV engine, I am using the command line way. So I open a new terminal window and I copy this command. What you have to do is vault secrets enable, and path you have to give the name of the KV engine and version and the KV option. Okay. This error gets when we are using the terminal command. In order to interact with the HashiCorp Vault, you have to first export this vault address into the environment. So I'm copying this and paste it here, and I'm running that command again. Okay, it's success. Okay, what we have to do next is we have to create new secrets in there. So before that, I will show the user interface of the HashiCorp Vault, so we can confirm that whether the secrets are stored in there well or not. Okay, for that I'm copying that address, and you can go to the interface like this, and it asks the root token here. So it is also provided in the login when it is in the startup. So you can copy that and paste it here. So okay, now we are inside the HashiCorp Vault user interface. So you can see that we have created the, you can't find any secrets, they are not yet created. So next let's create the secrets in there. So, okay, we can copy the same that command and we can paste it here, and it will create the new secret. The path is wso2is/keystore password, and the value is wso2 carbon. Okay, and entering it again, and it will store like this. So that's how we are storing the secrets in the HashiCorp Vault server. So what is the next step is we have to configure HashiCorp Vault extension with the identity server. So for that, what we have to do first is we have to clone the repository, which I showed earlier, and we can run maven clean install command, and it will generate the Java file named this, and you have to copy that into the identity servers repository components and dropping folder. So I'm going to do that. Here I have cloned that repository and I have built the project, and here is that Java file. So I copy that file and go to the identity server. I extracted the new identity server, and you can go to the repository, components, and drop in folder. Okay. Okay. What's the next step is we have to install the Java driver also. So you can find it from the website, which Java Vault driver. slow in the internet connection. Okay, yeah, you can go to that site and download the Java driver, and you can have to put it in the lib folder, identity server home repository components and lib folder. So I'm going to do that also. I have already downloaded the Java driver here. You can copy that and go to the repository components and lib folder. Okay, fine. Okay, what we have to do next is we have to enable the default secret vault, and we have to enable that HashiCorp Vault connector in the configuration. So we have to edit the configuration file which is placed under repository conf security and secret conf properties. So before that, I'm copying this whole configurations, and I have opened the identity server folder in the VS Code, and let's go to the repository, come security and secret conf properties. So you can put the configurations here, and please remember that currently I have run a dev server, so it gave us the secret vault address as this. So when you are doing this in the production level, you have to enable the TLS also. So then you can get the HTTPS address. So for now, I'm using this address here. So the namespace also, currently namespace support also implemented, but it is works with the enterprise edition of the HashiCorp Vault. So for now, I'm commenting this line, and this is the engine path. That is the key KV engine we have created a few minutes ago, and the engine version should be 2. Currently, we are supporting the engine version 2. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next step. What we have to do is we have to enable the correlation logs. Sorry, not correlation logs. We have to enable the logs for the HashiCorp Vault connector. So what we have to do is you have to copy this, the same configuration mentioned in the document, and go to the log4j properties file, and you can put it below the loggers option. And then what we have to do is append this name of the logger into the loggers list. Okay, I'm going to enter the file and edit this. Yeah, we are almost done. Now what we have to do is we have to update the passwords in the deployment terminal file with their aliases. So this is I will show you how we can do that. You can copy this same example and go to the deployment terminal file, and here in the end of the file you have to put the aliases which we are going to use as the secrets. So how we are doing that, I have defined the admin password, key store password, and database password here, and the value should be empty. Okay, so how we are referring those aliases in the configurations is using the secret annotation. So as you can see, instead of the password, we can refer it as this with that alias. I'm copying that and paste it in here. So now we are we replaces the password with this alias, and we can do it for the others also. For example, we can replace the key store password in the same thing. Okay, I will copy this, paste this case to password, and can copy that here also with the database password. Okay, I hope we are fine right now, but we have not yet inserted the other passwords into the HashiCorp Vault. Okay, so for that, we can do that from here, as we have entered the previous password. Okay, like this. What we had entered is database password as the WSO2 carbon, the admin password. The value is enter. Okay, now everything is right. What we have to do is now start the server. Before starting the server, we have to set the environment variable, the vault token, like this, with the export function, export command. I'm going to do it here. Sorry. The token, we can find the root token from here. I'm copying that, pasting it here. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to the inside the bin folder and starting the server. So in starting the server, it will ask for the key store password, as we have enabled the secure vault which is inside the identity server. So we have to enter this password WSO2 card. Okay, now the service is starting. So which means we have configured integrated HashiCorp Vault with the identity server. Now what happened is, instead of taking the passwords from this configuration, it fetch the password from the HashiCorp Vault, which we have entered a few minutes ago. So that's how we are connecting the HashiCorp Vault with the identity server. So we are currently improving this module, and you can also, I invite from you to try test this out and play with it. And we are currently developing, improving this into support more worlds also, not just with the HashiCorp Vault. So Sandhani is here to explain about how we are going to support it for other worlds also. So Sandhani, over to you.
Thank you, Sumedha. So let me share my screen. So hope you can see it. In this integration with HashiCorp Secure Vault, it will override the existing Secure Vault implementation. What that actually means is the WSO2 Identity Server, and including all the WSO2 products, it will ship with a file-based secret repository which is inbuilt to it. So we call it file-based secret repository, and with this newly implemented HashiCorp integration, it will override this existing file-based secret repository, and without using the file-based secret repository to store secret, it will use the HashiCorp Vault instead. So let's assume a scenario where you want to store multiple where you want to use multiple secret repositories to store your secrets, or else you want to use the file-based secret repository along with another secret repository. For an example, you want to use a HashiCorp secret repository and the file-based secret repository. So that kind of scenario will not be catered by this, either by this secure vault implementation or else the newly implemented HashiCorp Vault implementation. So as you can see in our identity server roadmap, we have identified this as one of our requirement and added to our midterm plans. And we call this as external vault support for carbon configurations. And what that actually means is we are building a framework to cater for multiple secret repositories. Multiple secret repositories in the sense the repositories or the vaults provided by AWS, HashiCorp, then Azure, etc. And even the file base also. So, and this will provide the capability to cater for those kind of multiple secret repositories so that we can get benefited from it. And also I want to emphasize on another point, like we can provide multiple secret repositories as well as multiple secret providers. So before moving forward, let me explain you what these secret repositories and the secret repository providers means. So actually the secret repositories are the actual implementation of the secret vaults. So we will use to store our secrets on, and the secret repository providers are the as the name implies, it will handle or it will act as a central repository to store secrets, or in other words, to store the secret repositories, and it will keep all the secret repositories inside of it. So whenever a request comes, it will like handle based on the request type, and like it will identify the relevant repository in order to resolve the relevant secret. So in order to give you a clear picture on what I have just said, let's move on with a small illustration. So as you can see here, we have multiple secret repositories: AWS, Azure, HashiCorp, and Filebase. So and again we have the secret repository provider. So here the secret repository provider will initialize all these secret repositories under it, and it will keep the list of secret initialized secret repositories. And on the other side, we have a request coming to resolve a particular secret along with the alias. So the secret manager will get that alias and get it resolved through this secret repository provider, and it will again hand over that the value for that secret to this requested party. So this is what actually happens inside of this. And now we have multiple repositories, right? So that means we need to identify a mechanism or any format to tell how we are going to access that particular repository, how we are going to decide on what is the repository that we have store our secrets on. So previously what we had was we have this $secret annotation along with the alias. So whenever we want to use some secret encrypted inside our identity server, then we will use this alias as alias, and we use to access our secrets by providing this alias. And here what we have done is we have added two more strings to represent the provider type as well as repository, so that we can decide on what is the repository that that we need to store our secret, and what is a repository that we need to access in order to retrieve that particular secret. And so this is I want to emphasize one thing, that means this is still under development, so you will be able to get benefited from this in the near future as well. And this is all from my side, and I would hand over the session to Ishara. Thank you.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Sumedh and Sanduni. It was a nice demo, and thanks for sharing the roadmap, what we are going to do in terms of secure vault integration. So next session is going to do by Darshana. So he will discuss more about identity server, CIAM focus, and then the key features we have, and things highlighted by Forrester as well. So Darshana, over to you.
Okay. Let me share my screen. So, uh, I'll start by the session like going through the Prabhat's blog on like what are the like key highlights of the Forrester CIAM Wave Q4 report. Um, so there I would like to mention like so in the current offering category, like so WSO2 Identity Server able to like get the highest score. There were 14 criteria for the current offering, and WSO2 Identity Server able to get the highest score for the 8 criteria. So that includes the custom authentication. So you familiar like providing the any like single sign-on and uh, getting compliant with the authentication standards. And if you were in the last community call, like Senthalan done in-depth details on the advanced adaptive authentication mechanisms, etc. So this custom authentication is going to indicate that part of the identity server's capability, and the business system integration. This is a kind of broad category where that you can connect to different types of applications in the when it comes to building an CIAM service, CIAM solution. It can be different uh, service providers, or the applications that end user might connected to, or it can be some applications that gives some insights of the what's happening underneath, like that used by the company itself, like CRM systems or the analytics systems, etc. Um, and this data orchestrations and user management is represented like so what are the things that user can connected in different formats of data or different user repositories, and what are the what are the transformations identity server can do on top of that. And so the customer self-service also a key part where like so in a CIM system, so customer itself can need to have do their own certain operations, maybe recover their account if they forget about the password, so like any update any attributes or add any devices, etc. So this reporting and dashboarding uh, indicates its identity servers like capabilities of the connecting it comes with its own analytics product, as well as like it can be used to integrate with other web analytic solutions like Google Analytics or the um, mixed panel likewise. Um, so we will go through in these details in the next in few minutes, where we can go through different pieces of demo. Um, this privacy and consent management also like becoming a key like a key thing going forward with the different privacy regulations enforced by the different regions of the world. Like you may already know, like GDPR is already kind of a norm in EU region, and we have following the Australian region or the um, like California also stricting up with the privacy and regulation. So there you need to like have the customer to have determine what are the things that it can share with for which party, uh, and come back and see what are the things happen and revoke anything if needed. It's customer, so it's not necessary anymore. Like so. So number of brands also like a something that CIAM solution would need. It's like so in a given organization, it might not have only one product or one brand maintaining it. So if we think about companies like so there are like huge, so in terms of like if you take the Google, so Google have like multiple sub organization and sub brands. So it's important to have the CIM solution to able to uh, cater the requirements of all these brands depending on the features it provides. So finally, and we have these contextual and documentation that customers can refer, or the products users can refer. So these are the like key 8 items that Identity Server able to rank the highest score uh, in this in the current offering category. So it's worth to note that so there are out of these 14 categories in the current offering, there were something like some evaluation criteria like what are the active users, so that currently handled by the systems as of now. So the and the like certain certifications or compliances as another category. So in fact, like WSO2 uh, uh, depending on being WSO2 as a Identity Server as a on-prem product as of now, and doesn't have like a SaaS offering. So these particular criteria were mainly focused for the SaaS. So, providers where like they what are the active deployment as of now, handling what the TPS or the what's the number of users per hour or a day. Likewise, so there are, so even though like Identity Server able to achieve like a very good ranking on uh, the current offering. So that's even with uh, the fact that WSO2 don't even have the necessary like not applicable criteria as well. So so we have some plans to uh, overcome those as well. So in fact, WSO2 have like so in the certification area, we do have the OpenID Connect certification, and we are on forward to go with the FIDO certification, etc. So so those things will be you will can directly benefit from those as well. So that's a high level idea on what's this current offering and different uh, uh, areas means evaluation criteria. So I'll go to the sample demo setup where like we have this setup. We can demonstrate different capabilities of WSO2, how to like uh, creatively use its ability to extend or like integrate the different uh, uh, system. So if I explain like what's high level, what's in this setup, so you can see the Identity Server as the core CIAM component you can see here. So this um, brown color like components are the ones that WSO2 provide out of the box. So you can see the WSO2 Identity Server here, and Identity Server Analytics is there. And you may already know like with the Identity Server 5.10 we published like a revamped user portal. So we have some user portal, default user portal deployed as external to the WSO2 here. And we have another user portal that theme differently for represent a different brand. So these green color items are the ones like small apps that we created to represent different services or products given by this particular example. So we were using a hypothetical organization called Guardio, where it's in the insurance domain. So there are different applications for motor insurance, life insurance, pets, so etc. And have some billing and support applications that's billing will be used by the customers, but support can be used by the internal people. So, and you can see like all these systems, or depending on the what system it's interacting, it's have the uh, it's connecting with the OpenID Connect or SAML or the product API. And here there are like different external vendors like SaaS providers like Salesforce. You know, like HubSpot is something a marketing tool that used for the tracking the different prospects or the interested parties of the this in the organization. So Magento is we are using like it's like e-commerce system that you can use to build different e-commerce solutions like store kind of thing. One trigger we using for the SMS or OTP. So these are our in this deployment the analytics products. So that we have the panel as a web analytics and using the identity server analytics itself. And one additional identity is this evident ID. It's used for the identity verification, where you can use the if any let's say if you are onboarding a partner, something like that that requires additional verification. So integration with evident ID will be helpful, like to verify whether if it is needed to validate citizenship or like a validate US um, uh, green card or like a passport or something like that. Evident ID provides out-of-the-box capabilities to validate automatically those things and extract the necessary details out of it. So as sure you know, like so it's we are using for the as a external IDP, and we have social IDPs also to in this setup. So if we jump into the scenario, so I have a blog post on written on the so that going through the CIAM use cases from the perspective of the customer. So before jump into that, so the very first thing of a CIAM solution would be to so get it started and deployed in the your environment. So so very first beginning, like a very initial step is to like get this identity server or the whatever the CSM solution that you are trying to deploy in your system connected to some user store that that you can pull the from the external already existing employees as admin. So so this management console will be used by the internal employees and with the necessary level. So it's important to have this like out of the box capabilities to connect with the standard user stores like Active Directory or the LDAP likewise. So Identity Server have like have very proven record of connecting to different user stores with our various clients. And so it's very easy that you can connect the main user store by the file, as well as like you can connect additional multiple user stores. You can see here. So I have like um, 5 to 10 user stores added already there. So these are mostly to represent or segregate different type of customers. So for the partners, so likewise, so so all of these are represented as the JDBC ones. But so identity server do support like pulling the information, user information, group information, whether it's you need to connect it as a read only or read write, etc. And our from the other trains mapping capabilities, so you can uh, like uh, different type of user stores can contain different underlying uh, attributes. So these CIAM mapping features are like will be helpful to like get this to a like unified representation across these user stores. So likewise, um, so once you like connect these employees like identity server, so the users and all capabilities, so we can so, uh, connect or assign different roles or different levels of permission depending on what are the groups they are in. So these are also very general use cases that almost every customer deployment of the admin server will use, whether it's on the CIAM or the workforce IAM side. So when it comes to the connecting the customers, it's we have seen that it's really like requires to like get the ability to connect the custom user store. So depending on the user type, uh, or the like different customers are like in organizations are in most cases we see that deployed in their own specific schema. So can ability to connect write a simple connect and able to connect existing schema rather than having to like move or migrate from the beginning as a big bang migration uh, is helpful when uh, like starting the CIAM solution in the system. So um, so um, then so with this user management and like data orchestration capability, like so you can connect any user or like whether it can be employee or a customer to the system. So let's quickly go through like let's say so now we have the system where you have the basic users are in place, and we have the service providers also like connected as the standard protocol, like they can do IDC or the uh, uh, SAML or the passive STSO, can be even proprietary one as well. And server support similar to the user stores, it can connect to the custom protocols as well. So we have like the service provider I mentioned earlier, like I have already configured here as connect represented as the service providers. So if we go to the like the different stages that customer go, like very first would be the awareness stage. So this is some different jargons used in like the in managing the customer experience or the in analyzing the marketing funnel. So so the very first will be the awareness, where user will be get to know about the particular product. In our example, it would be the Guardio insurance company, and so they are the so user will access a certain website, and user will not provide any PII or like a personally identifiable information. Rather visit what's there and do a minimal interaction with the system. So in this scenario, CIM solution will not be used, might not be able to use in a fully fledged manner, but as the product, CIMI product, but in the solution perspective, still these can be connected to a web analytics solution, so we can get this information correlated in a later stage. So if we go to the next step, so the consideration stage, where that's where like the user will have some need and try to evaluate what's happening. So probably, let's say I'll use Lillian. So try to like download a policy. So um, and so they are like so it will be a catalog with contains different type of uh, offering that Guardio business provides. So if we go to here, so if I search for the billion, like so you can see that that user is created now, and so as I showed earlier, like this is connected to the marketing tools as well. So if we go to the HubSpot, and you can see this user billion has been created over there as well. So there what we are using is like so we use this SCIM protocol from this website and create an account with base like the basic needs. So here it's using the email and doing out creating the account in IS and IS configured to do the outbound provisioning to this marketing tool. So this is created just now, and so it will create, so depending on the whether user subscribe to this newsletters and so forth, those informations also be presented there. So we have some, so we call it light account. So where user don't have necessarily registered and maintain a credential with the CIAM solution, but we know certain attributes and stuff. So if we move to the next level, so I'll quickly go through as we are now time mostly. So user may now consider this product is a file for him and try to register to the system. So I use my own mail, like um, so I use some country. They are ideally so I should get a mail. Yeah, so I get a mail mentioning that I registered in the system. So this is goes to the level of like capabilities of verification. So we have the email-based verification. So sorry, what is this one? This is created some time ago, and yeah, maybe this one. So we can proceed and create uh, log into the system. And yeah, so you've seen we created a new account, and I uh, can log into the Guardio products as well. So um, so there I can see the what are the like other products it's applicable in the Guardio. So this is the new self-care portal I mentioned earlier, like it deals with the IS 510. So this is a total revamp, so you can see what's in the profile information. So so you can do all the self-service information here as well. You can update your personal information or attach different uh, in the security section. We can connect different video keys, so attach my POTP devices, etc., and can see the what are the active sessions, if we have like given any specific consents, what are those likewise. So if I so user has been like mostly started engaging with this second stage considering, and so so we use the inbound and outbound provisioning. So this block has all the links to the different product documentation, so you can refer if you're interested in how it's what are the exact features you need to do, like for the steps to refer, you can refer these links as well. And if you go to the quickly on the next level, so user now like logged into the system, and so it's important to like in the registration keep to simple as possible, not to load with the different hundreds of fields that user need to enter. So if one one thing that we can do is like, so basically in this billing application, so it requires like additional information to like, let's say, to connect, contact customer, etc. So maybe we'll try it about. So let me try accessing the billing portal, like so it's asked me for the email verification. Maybe I started one. So here, like you can see that this billing application need a different like additional attribute to continue. So this is can be considered as progressive profiling. Like like you don't go like exhaust the customer asking all the necessary information at the glance, rather than you can collect those information as needed. So basically, and so there are like basic features as single sign-on, etc. That's also expected when accessing these different things, rather than user to requiring the passwords, etc. So, but in this billing portal, it has had this, so the it requested this second factor because it's considered as like a sensitive app. So it's rather than like uh, different applications can contains different level of assurance configured in the admin server side based on the its authentication policy. So so we have seen the uh, 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 the single sign-on and step-up authentication and progressive profiling kind of features with the this particular environment. So I'll show quickly how it is added. So in the billing application, it has added as this mobile claim as a mandatory one. So that's even the system allows to register users without the mobile. Like it can guarantee that when I log into this application, it will have these users are uh, uh, login with only with this certain attribute. So you can see like, so I have added this multi steps here. So this basic steps has been since I have logged into the live application with the basic authentication, that step got skipped and it requires me to the email OTP. And yeah, so there are certain script I have added to use the in later scenario. So so yeah. Um, and one another thing I would like to mention about this bring your own identity capability. So where let me log out from here. So rather than like user having to log in and register, going through a registration process, like you can use like uh, different sign up procedures, like login with sign up with Google and etc. So if I use here my Google account, so we don't have this. So you can see like you can use existing Google account and you don't need to maintain any credential here, and it will like populate whatever the already exist information from that social site, and So we can see the password here, but that have an option that we can change from the our configuration to like not to maintain a credential or like uh, uh, always use the federated authentication as the main authentication mechanism. Um, so this is also like a cool feature that you can use in the admin server side. So if I show you what are the relevant parts that we can uh, tune up this configuration. So uh, in the Google, so I have enabled this just-in-time provisioning enabled with requesting to prompt for the password and the consent, etc. So we can use different options here to cater the requirement as we have in the different businesses. Um, so moving back to the flow, like we done the registration for the profiling, on identity, etc. And so during the registration, like using the services like Evident ID, as I mentioned earlier, like this might not be directly applicable for customer, or it can be some specific organization that need for this their end customer, or it can be registration of the partner. So or like likewise. So in this there we have this integration we have done some time earlier where we can enable so evident identity verification. So I have already configured this one. So if I just enable it, and so maybe I have to delete one of my account. Mm. And try to register again. Now it will require me to go to the site and try to register. So along with this, I will show another capability where so we due to the different as I mentioned on the privacy or the uh, uh, compliance requirement, there can be reasons that we have to store these specific data in the specific region, so not allowing to keep those data outside of that region. So to demonstrate that, so let's say we are in the European region, and so if you remember earlier, like we that user is getting permission to certain user store. If I try now, so it, mm, so that this user is now in a EU user store. So this is not happened before. Like it's earlier, it's used to store in the live customer the main user store, but so depending on the like different policies applied here, we could change this uh, and if I show the mm, so I should be getting a email requesting to confirm my maybe. So basically, we will get a email like this. So basically, it's asked to like so this part I won't be able to demo to you because like this is using the US driver's license. So so basically, if you click through this thing and if you have a US driver's license, you can get a it's asked to take a photo and like it's validated and uh, give back the identity server on the information on what are the verified information in that driver's license and etc. that can be maintained in the user's profile. So quickly moving through, like so we have passed the like registration phase where so user got uh, maybe purchase some uh, uh, offering in this organization, and we have went through the different onboarding capabilities and the verification capabilities, whether it's a email-based verification or integration with the external system. So the evident ID is only one thing, and we have pipeline to like integrate with many more. And even you have your own APIs and internal systems that it can use the same mechanism, follow the same thing, and add it as a connector to integrate with your own proprietary systems that you have in house. So the next one is the so the service stage. So I have quickly went through the single sign-on and strong authentication, step-up authentication things as well. So if I do a little bit small demo like adaptive authentication with like cumulative risk score based thing. So let me close up this and so in this scenario, what will happen is like so I have added, so if you recall my billing application earlier, so it has some adaptive like script added uh, that is to denote like enforce. So we have 3 authenticators added in that flow. First one being the simple username password, and second one I have added the email OTP, and third one is a device based one where configured with my TOTP registration in the token I have. So, and in summary, what will happen is like if there is a new browser via new device that you are user trying to log in, like it will not simply ask for the basic authentication. So rather than step up the flow and request for uh, the second factor as well. So since this is a new browser, it requested me to do a second factor as well, and I got logged into the system. So and so this behavior will not be the like a static one. So because we are using the this course like when user log into the new log into the billing application via a new browser, it's push event to the analytics, and analytics maintain a risk score. And so if I show some logs, uh, so okay, it's got broken that my console. So so it step up the it's added some risk value to the system, and so if I try the same thing login consecutively like so that within a short time of period another new device, so it will now ask me for a, like or a more stronger device. Maybe it can be a FIDO key, or like it can be a TOTP key that you have with you. So I'll add my EOTP code I scanned from the. So even though I have done the same thing twice, so what happened was like, so it, seeing this is something suspicious happening and change the authentication behavior. So, and even with that, let's say I am, so let's say this in the solution, we have, so this siding server pushing these events to analytics and analytics maintaining a risk score now. So let's say we have another system, let's say this is a bank application, and there will be happening a transaction of a huge amount. So then it will be published to the analytics that about that event. So if I simulate that thing, so I have some, I will do that bank will done a certain transaction for this certain user. So that will also, like within this short period time, like it will also increase the risk score to another value, like increase the value by factor of 2. And if I try to log in, so again with that with all these suspicious things going on, and if I, let's say in this time I also like couldn't provide the credentials in straightforward, and I try this. So in each of these simulate attempts will publish more events to the uh, analytics server, and now analytics server have like a this score of like higher value, uh, uh, and it will decide at this point, even it provides the correct uh, credential. Let's see, hopefully, yeah. So so it's getting accumulated the different risks. Yeah, logging with multiple new devices and invalid attempts, so like doing suspicious transaction, etc., and pass the certain cutoff value and block the authentication, doing anything, log into this billing portal further. So this is some like use case that involve all the parties, identity server or the user behavior, so the external system having to be able to connect to the analytics, etc. Uh, Showing the adaptive and risk-based multi-factor authentication. So we move along, like so I have showed the I want to log into the user portal. Let me log out and try again. Sorry. Okay, so I have to log in with the fresh browser somehow. There's a portal. So let me try to log in with this. This is the typical user. So this Sandra is an employee. So rather than the certain application that end customer have seen, Sandra could see more applications that in her portal as well. So so considering this is as a normal user, yeah. So what Sandra additionally have is like the workflow capabilities. Yeah. So Identity server can be configured to like trigger different workflow requests. So for an example, if I try to log in with the user Bobby. So Bobby has the password. Sorry. So this human log into the human task making this course. So let me try it again. So that error came because I accessed the employee version of the uh, certain employees part of the user portal as and user and user part of the user portal in the same browser. Won't happen in normal times, but something we have to improve, I guess. So, so uh, there are certain things in here, like so for example, like so this certain attributes you can configure to not to uh, update by the user themselves.
Darshana,
So
can you stop and share it again? It seems your screen is
space.
pausing. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes, my Zoom. Stop share. Is it okay now?
It should be okay.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So, I'll showcase how to like using this workflow thing. So, um, so if I go to the management console of the identity server, so I have configured a workflow engagement on this updating any specific attribute called tin. So basically, I have updated like added a workflow uh, uh, to like only to intercept if the user is updating this particular claim called tin. So and it should since it is like a tin maybe stands for like uh, tax identification number something like that. So if it is a sensitive one like that, so it might go through some approval process. Uh, so let me uh, go to this inducer Bobby and add some uh, updated value here. So this can, so you can see that updated value is not shown here still. But if I try to log into the portal as a Sandra is a employee persona in this scenario, so Sandra can see that the traditional workflow capabilities. So she can see this workflow request came to her. So that is because like we have configured this workflow and configured the role Sandra is in, like she's in the marketing associate role, and those people can accept this certain request. So once I have accepted this one, so if I refresh here, so you can see this now the value got updated. So likewise, so the not only the identity server like a specific features like single sign-on or the policy capabilities or the workflow capabilities or user management capabilities. So using the different mix of those all together can use to simulate uh, uh, various business functions that are different in complaint needs. So here another function you can see is this delete request thing and the export profile thing. So these capabilities also like very useful for the data portability or the like deregistration. There's some mandated by some regulations as well in certain uh, uh, areas, and but the would be having these capabilities able to use these thing would be uh, uh, important in any CIAM solution. So likewise, you cannot simply delete this request. So rather you can engage workflows and like get involved, like so if I show the workflow engagement also, like so that this customer deletion approval also has a certain workflow, and you can engage the different marketing people or the customer success persons informed on this particular delete request and get them engage with this deprovisioning or the deregister situation of the customer, and get the necessary feedback and maybe get the better uh, job done in a phases like that even. So I haven't shown you this ability to connect different bands. So using the identity server capabilities of so I have already logged in. Let me log out. Uh, so if the customer, if the organizations goes through like different merging acquisitions of and onboarding new bands in the system, so you might not be able to, like the customer might not familiar to, let's say this Happy Pet is a independent organization earlier and now merged to the Guardio corporation. So and still like Happy Pet customers would like to not know like deviate about the experience they get, and even though it's handled by the core same CIAM system, so it would like to have the experience as they had in earlier, and gradually turn improve that to a uh, unified experience along the time rather than doing it in a one go. So the ability to customize different service provider wise authentication or the banding or the, so even here if we see, if I log into the user portal, you can see the different branding over there. So not it can, these things are simply can be done with the new user portal. Um, so we are out of time as well. So let me quickly wind up. We covered brands, yeah, analytics part. So uh, so there are different touch points of the system. So if you show the HubSpot integration of the identity server, so so this is a web analytics system that can be applied through our identity server uh, uh, the front-facing UI parts, and have simple, so you can refer the doc link over there. So I have added the HubSpot link in the beginning. Yeah, yeah. So we can push. So if we go through the what are the types of data? So sorry, I mixed up with the Mixpanel. So the Mixpanel is the web analytics solution, and so you can go to this data management side and see what are the things, what are the customers from which region accessing your system, etc. So you can see, so I'm accessing this all the way, and like you can even see the trail of the access of the different users with the what are the applications they access, and depending on the different testings you do, like so it can be used to determine like what are the things, what how where the customer took uh, uh, took time to uh, like login, for the login, what are the things, how many them have come to their pages and leave them, and how many got done with the process with the login verification or the sign up or the
Darshana,
completed. Yeah.
we can only see this Guardio Live self-care portal. Are you still in that page, or is the screen frozen?
Yeah, seems like with me. Somehow it's pausing. Let me stop and
Yeah, better.
share the whole. Let's stop. Somehow, yeah. So I'm in the mix panel dashboard. So yeah, so I earlier showed the uh, login trail, the live view. So you can see what are all the information published to the next panel, this trail, and we can like click on one of these distinct IDs and see the login trail, like the customer, what are the things they access over the time, etc. And if you want have more summarized view, so we can compile different dashboards like this. So so this particular dashboard we created to figure out how many came to the sign up page, registration page that we went through earlier, and how many uh, people got completed, how many people got left out, and how many, like what are the uh, time duration has to spend on the that's particular pages, etc. Those will be helpful to like tune up what are the attributes, or what are the heavy points or the bottlenecks that you have in the CIM system, not only as IS perspective rather than the whole solution, to improve the uh, customer journey end to end. And one interesting thing you could do is like use for the ABC testing. So if you have, so I had, if you recall, like two different brands. So it can be configured to like tune up or like introduce a new version of the registration page and see the compare and what's its output from uh, uh, the other brand. Say we can roll out that for only for a certain service provider and compare how that service provider registration got improved compared to the all the other in the system. So there are limitless of okay, different things we can do once we have this information published to the these analytics tools. So and another thing we can see from our default analytics product. Uh, so uh, so we have this default capabilities of Identity Server Analytics, where you can see the total like login attempts and the breakdown of the local or federated, or what are the geographical areas, who are the users or the service providers, and we can even pick the different time frames, like so see the view for the whole year and etc. So I will not go through in these details. So these are like default ID server capabilities we have out of the box. One additional thing I would like to showcase here is the this additional dashboard that we create. So depending on your company, like you can extract specific things. So maybe marketing team is interested in like getting the application traffic as a like a what how what in each time of the day that different users getting logged into the different portals, etc. And maybe target different campaigns or improve certain things based on that. So not limiting to the default analytics dashboard or the we have in the product. Uh, it can be simply can create a dashboard like this as well. And in the privacy perspective, uh, so this is some additional thing we have added in this solution. So this consent trail, so where you can see who are the customers and what are the status of the consents that they have given, etc., to like get a better understanding from the organization view as a whole. Where are the customers and what are the things that have been given approval to do which tasks, etc. So that's so I haven't covered the recovery mechanism or the captcha. So that's yeah. So that's even like let me quickly enable captcha as well. So so Identity Server has the support with the Google reCAPTCHA, so it can be enabled to like in different flow, not only login, like in the login uh, uh, or the registration or the recovery. So yeah, like you can avoid the brute force attack that's happening over the systems that front facing. So if I try to log out and try with this couple of times, so you can see this. So I have given the configured the system to provide show for the Google reCAPTCHA after 2 failed attempts. So now you have to go through that and then only uh, get past with the next level. So similarly, we can enable the account locking as well. So these are the typical things that a CIAM system should have in this service stage where the user get actively involved with the in the engagement of the different products or the services provided by the organization. So it's important to like in a way it's enabling captcha or the account locking slightly reduce the experience of the customer, but that is enabled for the better purpose of like making those accounts secured from the brute force attacks and etc. So have to have the correct balance on that. Yeah. So we have in the like the analytical capabilities, use onboarding and verification, like strong and adaptive authentication, privacy and consent management supports, self-care services like from the self-care portal, and we have seen like various different business apps and tools has been integrated with the core CIAM product, and the analytics and risk-based authentication and can be used for the any fraud detection scenarios. So it's a very brief roundup of the things like uh, yeah. I hope you got the idea about the CIAM, different like IAM use cases and how the customer would see those use cases in play in its user journey. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Darshan. So even we went 30 minutes beyond the planned timeline, I think Darshan covered all the aspect about the complete CMA solution. So thank you, Darshan. So, right, so these are the events we have planned for today. So if you have any questions, please join our Slack channel and ask those questions. So we are happy to give you answers. So thank you for joining today, and then we hope to see you in next community call. Have a good day.